FF4FE87, and we are here for Game 2 of DekarSMASH versus Soleras, the rematch and things we're all looking for. How you doing, PK?
I'm great, thank you, Deathus. Looking forward to this round 2. Dekar, it appears, won the first one. Soleras, obviously, anyone who's made it this deep into the tournament is a heck of a good runner. So I'm hoping for some shenanigans, and it's looking like no Cecil, and an edge start. So maybe quick overworld, but then we'll have to see what the runners do from there.
Yeah, that's one thing about the Red Moon flags. You have either Edge, Cecil, or Fu. You do not have access to all three, or even two of the three, like Blue Moon does. You do get to start off with his full array of weaponry, at least, which is all sorts of goodness. But yeah, we also have a nice little gauntlet of bosses. No real freebies, because you only really see them very rarely here. Baigan, Kainazo, you find those in some rude spots, and then we have some real fun beginning.
Yeah, with the Red Moon flags, none of them are fun bosses. None of them are free, and I mean, my hope is always that we run into some sort of required alt gauntlet somewhere that is less than entertaining for the runners and more very entertaining for us.
Oh, absolutely. As much as we do love the runners that we have on here, again, as you mentioned, Soleras and Dekar are really fantastic runners to get all this way up here. We also really love a little bit of chaos.
Oh, definitely after some chaos. I believe the roller of this seed was the one and only Scala Kitty, who has been known to create some shenanigans. Also, quick shout out to Fiery Blizzard, who is doing her tracking, and Bad Karma, who is handling the restream. No, Scala didn't roll it. Well,
yeah, we have
the magic.
Yeah, BK is our lovely roller for this evening, and Scala has a lovely bit of touch, as we do with all the finals. The Zaroma sprite is going to be a little bit extra special, and that's honestly what I'm more excited to see. But the real interesting thing is, who are we going to be paired with this Edge? What are you looking for?
I can tell you who I'm not looking for, and that is there being a Tella in the seed.
What? You don't want to go do D machines like 2 seconds into the seed?
No, believe it or not. Believe it or not.
I like D-Mist.
What about D-Mist 2 minutes into the seed?
Immediate D-Mist.
So, we go to Baron real quick, right?
I mean, the thing with Edge is he starts with fine equipment for the overworld, but the minute that you can get a ninja sword, even a long sword, if you can get something where you can back row him and have a ninja sword, then the Baron weapon shop is going to potentially have that opportunity.
Yeah, this is where you're looting not just for gear. Now you're really looting for some of this money, because that is a big, big thing. You want to be able to afford some of the higher tier stuff. T-Pro, not bad, not great, but we'll take a Dr. Luggage in a spot you don't want to look at him for. Again, boss that's annoying somewhere placed because it's long, but you're okay with him just hiding here.
Yeah, and already a little divergence. We do have the free characters flag on, and there are only free characters. But definitely keeping an eye out. The first person to find any upgrade to Edge's weapon is my pick for maybe potentially first underground. There is not the character it looks like Dekar is even willing to pick up.
There's a few people who would put some onus with that, and be very unhappy the fact that you're leaving Eddie there. I'm honestly one of them. I'm a huge fan of Edward as a character.
See, I consider grabbing him just as a backup anchor, but I mean, this is always an interesting discussion of, are you going to end up with a mage party? Who are you going to play as your anchor? I do like these flags because they're limited characters and you can make that decision, or it's best to make that decision pretty early. But with this edge start, at least, you see these runners are not super interested in trying to build their party.
No, this is a point where like the early experience isn't going to matter a whole lot. I mean, that's actually okay. Hear me out.
Haunted.
If you're gonna blank out, if you're gonna blank out and you want to fade Antlion, that's a place to do.
Do they realize I'm commentating the seed and they both immediately do Alien? God.
This is true. See, there's two things. There's two things that you need to pay attention to. Who's your seed roller, and who is involved whatsoever in this stream. Because I generally make vanilla happen. You say leave Antlion alone, and we're waiting for both to happen. We got one.
Got one. Not a required boss. The light sword. Not the reward you're looking for. I think we're going to end up relatively lockstep here, and it's going to be a question of who wants to loot where and how much time you want to spend looting, because that edge does, pack a pretty big punch.
Speaking of packing punches, you're really okay with seeing some of these free bosses, especially, wow, speaking of free, you're really happy to see both guards and dark imps out of the pool. This is... Ooh, I'm excited for some of this late game.
Oh yeah, from our perspective, absolutely. This is where you want to see those free bosses. If you're a runner, those are some opportunities for XP that are it's already sort of going in your head. Okay, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna have to steal a bunch of sirens? Pick up a Yang, which I love to see. I'm really hoping that we have, a berserker type party. And Yang is a personal favorite, particularly with the right gear.
I mean, we all know your favorite quote is that there ain't no law, and you got a Thunderclaw.
Thunderclaw trademark. Dekar continuing to look for some characters.
Oops. All mages.
Oh,
oops, boy. All mages.
So we are both the twins, Rydia, Yang, Eddie, and we're what? The walk-up ordeals away from knowing everything we have going?
And in all honesty, if I was Dekar, I'd take that walk-up right now, because it's like, well, that's the last character you need to know about, and if it ain't there, then... From chat, Mountain Cecil. Unfortunately, Cecil will not be seen in these flag sets. The Red Moon, we do not have access to Cecil or Fu if we have Edge. We will not have access to Edge if we have a Cecil, or vice versa. It's one of those three only.
Yeah, the only way to gain one of those is one of those three will be your starting character. And in this instance, we have Edge. Soleras taking it safe on that plague fight, I don't disagree with that, because that count can run quite quickly. But still no more key items. It'll be an okay summon when Soleras gets the whatever you would consider the news we're seeing right now.
Well, again, this is what happens when you have the power of the Blank Bros, as we've mentioned, plus the magnanimous PK here on comms. This is too much power for our runners to be able to get through.
Yep, Dekar also opting to throw out that Star Veil.
I really like that.
It's a great play. This is one of the more frustrating spots for Plague, just because you want your fast anchor in center, but it's also going to make the count run incredibly quickly. We will get our final bit of information here. It looks like we're also seeing Dekar set up the Rydia anchor. There it is. Okay. So one particular grind is absolutely off the table. You love to see it.
Yeah, but the thing is, we do have access to the Mac Giant grind if we so choose, so that is still a possibility on the table.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Look, anything that makes my boy Kane shine, I'm 100% here for.
There was an Ogre X somewhere, I believe, in Antlion.
It's a load-in.
Pretty good start. Oh, guarding the bridge. Not at the best spot for Odin. One spot away.
No, right? Him or Yang are my two favorites to have in the back because it's either the kick heard around the world or Zentetsuken from behind, or as I like to call it, the nothing personnel kid.
Yeah, there are some really strong. I wouldn't call them glitches, but just issues with the animations when you get that back attack that otherwise would never happen.
Yeah, and we're just showing off how good of a character Palom is against bosses that have elemental weaknesses. Lit 2 absolutely puts Odin down and puts Soleras just barely in the lead, although Dekar is right behind him. Although, may I interest you in a back attack CPU?
Oh, that is not fun. Not that it will matter too much, but Soleras, with that confidence when you have that edge, did not swap out the rose. So is going to need to get that fixed up. This is not going to be a fast fight, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, we're going to be here for a while. Our tracker Fire Blizzard, I kind of have the same opinion. Unfortunately, we had a selling of the light sword on Soleras' side, so we're not going to have a yeeting of the blade, which I agree with.
Strange blades lying in caves built by giant ants is no system for winning a battle.
Always eat the blades.
This was what I was actually questioning, and with those sirens, granted you would need to get all the way to Quake for to really get the value for Palom out of this back attack orb spot, but it is always nice to get yourself that virus and get close to Quake as we see Dekar burn through one siren. Yeah,
the bonus stats are going to be fairly big here, and in addition to the fact that he will have access to twin magic, if we see a nice comet come through, that can be a nice little finisher.
You really got to roll the dice with the twin magic on this fight. I definitely consider it.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, we see he gets through this. Everyone's a little bit weak, but it doesn't matter. No healers. We're all good. While we're going to watch Dekar get a lit 2, probably for close to 2k at this point, because I know Soleras did roughly about 1600.
However much it does, I can tell you what the end result is going to be. I can't tell you what the middle numbers are going to be. But it's going to be Odin just taking a quick bow out of that fight. And it is one boss complete. And there is just absolute value right there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a character check, right? Wait, hold on.
And there's another free boss.
A free boss and a free location, no less. I'm very much here for this. Unfortunately, the flame not quite enough, but we'll still get some good.
Yeah, lacking the boss lacking the boss bit, I would say. These guys aren't always free, but with I believe it's a standard. There are hourglasses and the like, right, Dathus?
We will find there's a possibility of finding them either underground or somewhere else. Also, yeah, I'm a big fan of Dekar casting Flare on just the attacker node to assert dominance. Yeah, no, there's a chance we can see some hourglasses. Chance we can see some other summons that'll make Rydia really, really good. But yeah, that's the third free boss, and we only have one left to find. Well, 2 actually.
So, yep, it looks like we will see this as well. Nope, I thought Soleras was maybe going to pop that siren. It does not. He thinks better of it. So Soleras with an advantage time-wise, but still hasn't made some of these character checks. Hasn't done the launch the hovercraft, hasn't gone in and collected the Rydia and the Porum. So my estimation is we're pretty close to tied so far.
Yeah, we've got a little bit from here, a little bit from there. Soleras is going to get himself the characters. Probably going to keep the Porum, Rydia, maybe someone he keeps. Going to be interesting to see what he wants to do about that. The important thing is will anybody check the package? Will we get the cheeky check to get an extra boss up on someone else?
It's a curious position, particularly when you have the package this early. Do you let it loom in your mind? You know, there's obvious justification for not doing it. It's one boss check and it takes a long time. But at what point do you say to yourself, well, I think I need to check this package?
Absolutely. So, you know, I'll ask you, PK. Is there a point where you decide that it is no longer acceptable to go and check package, especially in a seed like this, or do you just check it like immediately the second you have it?
So, what I will say is, for me, I'm going to be cheeky and check it immediately. Otherwise, just absolutely not. Very last thing that I do. It also it could lead to, if there happens to be a required boss there, you know, it's one of those, like, if I'm going to the moon and I've cleared everything I can underground and on the blue planet, you know, maybe I want to check that so that I can better understand if I can just face check the rest of my way out. But it's going to come down to, you know, sort of what key items I've collected before I head up to, you know, the moon. It is a low probability play, and if I were racing either Dekar or Soleras, I would probably just have to put it off almost indefinitely, though. That would be my thought.
Also, big fan of doing these cheeky checks because, again, runners are just like, oh, well, leave it alone. It's one area. It takes so long. It's like, yeah, but that one boss could save you 20 minutes of hunting. Especially be like, okay, well, now I have to go do the giant because there's two bosses there, or there's one boss there just hiding there, whereas someone's somewhere else entirely.
Yeah, and it's not terrible just knowing you have it in hand, because it's you know, it's another check you have access to. So it can be something like having the package in hand eliminates, for example, Earth Crystal being able to gate being double required. You know what I mean? So, like,
Yeah, especially if
gives you that it gives you that chance to play those numbers of, like, okay, there are only X bosses that I can't peek right now, because I have the package in hand.
Speaking of bosses that we peaked, we do have Dolls into Bahamut here at Baron Inn. I'm kind of okay with this. As I mentioned in chat, this is a very slow spot. This is a slow blarg. We're gonna get a lot of black magic off, and with the berserk on this edge, yeah, that's. I very much appreciate DekarSMASH doing the cheer from Palom. No character found. Do we find a key item though? Hey, there's our underground access.
So we do know there's a Demist. This is a pretty free run. I mean, with Edge in the center, Baron at 2 is never going to be that big of a problem. But now you sort of have a question you can ask yourself. I mean, you're probably just doing Baron right now anyway, but you would potentially have the ability to skip it, start heading underground. I would also expect to see a peek of the weapon shop, because, you know, again, on my mind right now is, can I get Ninja Blades? Can I get upgraded weapons for Edge? And shopping is probably your best bet at it.
Yeah, so Dekar actually did check the weapon shop. The nicest thing that I saw was an assassin dagger, which, ooh, that charm claw though, that's a nice little pickup. You go to do the ogre chests, that's gonna be very sweet for that Edge.
Make giant grind on mine.
Yeah, there we go. We have Mac Giants we can do. Hey, who wants to go do some Mac Giants? PK?
No one wants to do Mac Giants. Mac Giants don't. You do Mac Giants. This is a good... Okay, so I did miss that. Good to know that it won't gain or lose an advantage for somebody, but like you said, I mean, finding good gear for Edge is hard, and shopping for it in these settings, particularly for Ninja Blades, is going to require a lot of money. So, again, like you said, I have an eye out for loot, you know, just general loot, things that I can sell.
Yeah, with a team like this, you can kind of overload a little bit, especially if you want Edge to be the star, as he can kind of be. But with the rest of this team, you can kind of just like sling 4 mages up as high as you want, and then pick up that Edward, and you're good. Or Edge can just keep being your anchor, or keep bringing him up at this point. There's a lot of different options.
Yeah, the slingshot, particularly on a Mac Giant fight, it's a lot to do when you know that you have regardless of if they're found in stores, your opponent could just pop 2 sirens and start running around. It's also a question of how long are we going to go before we find the Darkness Crystal?
That is a very good question. The sooner we find it, the more likely a sling can happen, and that could be a big benefit. But I don't know if you noticed, Soleras actually did a bit of selling and bought 2 very cheeky items. They were ninjas, but they were not blades.
I missed it. Is he going to be chucking some stuff?
He's going to be throwing stars. He bought a pair of ninja stars, which is I can say this with fair confidence. I don't think I've ever seen anybody buy ninja stars.
I just go on random task, and I was just going to start removing his shoes.
Right, just like here, throw everything.
That's nice.
Yeah, that was another thing. He picked up the assassin blade, which I'm okay with because of more agility, higher attack. I'm also okay with the elements about to get absolutely ruined here.
I know Dekar didn't buy any. Did Soleras buy any kamikazes?
Not purchased, but I saw that there was one found somewhere.
Because this would definitely... Okay, that's another way of winning the fight.
Yeah, that Blizzard Spear, kinda solid.
I'd love to see a little a crumble skip from somebody at some point.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites when you can see like it's like, oh, crumbles. Nope. Also, speaking of no, yep, you will find no character here, Dekar. I am a big fan of what the Xeno Earned flag has done. You really, really have to think about your character choices and just what it's going to do for the rest of your seed. Oh, hey, look, there's Antlion.
Oh, yeah. Hey, he dug his way over. Yeah, this will be... I mean, it creates some very curious circumstances. You know, do I just take my white mage? Do I set up slingshots? Can I get away with just a Zerker party? What if my opponent does a slingshot? It creates a lot of uncertainty that you might otherwise not have when you don't immediately have 6 characters available, or 7 total characters.
Yeah, and okay, so we do get a check of Viridia's mom to see what kind of bonuses we're gonna have here. It will not be a magma key, but it is a tower key. Not bad. I definitely see the rat tail being checked before we go underground. We're not gonna get the package check from Dekar. I'm a little sad because I would love to see what boss is hiding there.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I would assume, if I'm racing one of these two, I assume that they're both, like, if I were racing Dekar, I would assume Dekar's skipping the package. I assume Dekar would assume, you would assume that your opponent's skipping the package for now.
Oh,
You really do not want to blank on that package check when you're racing anyone of this caliber.
I'll take it fast, though.
Yeah. Not bad.
That's Baron kind of paying out.
Yeah, easy access to Zeromas, which is really, really convenient. Honestly, even from a commentator standpoint, you don't have to watch them walk the moon. I mean, you would assume at least twice with these types of flags. This gives you the chance to, even if you blank on your moon face checks, you can bail out and check on something if you collect a Harper and Earth Crystal while you're up there, and you don't have to, risk everything on another moonwalk. Yeah.
Also, Dekar doing something fairly interesting considering the party we have. There is, especially with no oh, there's Ninja Blades for sale. I would have honestly expected to see a dive into Evelyn Castle, hoping for some Hanzo Steel, maybe something good for this Kane, maybe hoping to spike a Bahamut summon.
It's. I don't disagree with this play, particularly because you can buy ninja swords, and the best thing maybe that I would really want to pull out of there would be an Avenger for Kane.
Also true.
If this was a Cecil party, 100% I would have a different take on it. Did Dekar check the item shop?
He did not check the item shop that I remember. He kind of went into the weapon and armor shop and just said that we're calling it a day.
Is doing a pretty aggressive loot here.
I am a big fan of finding that mute knife. Where did Soleras just find that?
That is the... Yep.
Oh, missed. Ooh, that is really, really nice.
Yeah, that could really pay off, particularly if we don't see Dekar find a mute knife of his own or a rune axe. But Soleras' additional shopping, I think, has been the slight difference so far between our two runners.
Yeah, slight different. With that said, however, the mute knife was actually in the Mist Cave, though. The Mist Village. Although Fabul did have some okay stuff there for that spot. Also, I really like that viewer's name, because whenever you're trying to address them in the middle of a conversation.
With having said that, but yeah, Dekar made it to the cave first, but also now spending a fair chunk of time going through this loot. I believe, did we see ninja swords for sale? As this feels to me like he is trying to beef up as, yeah, it looks like Soleras is taking your advice.
Yeah, if anything else, you're looking for, you're either looking for Hanzo Steel or you're looking for money to afford ninja blades, is really what we're looking for. And here's the really nice
taking this fight.
And buying an ice cloth too. I appreciate the safety, because we still do have Rubicante proper out there.
Yeah, some really solid pickups. Okay. I mean, it makes sense that was the play. I thought Dekar had decided against spending all that money on the ninja swords, because we had seen them at least briefly.
Hey, there's your hourglasses.
And this is the cost of the ninja swords. All the money you have.
You wanted money? No, friend.
And this has got to be Soleras' nightmare right now. It's not even that you're gonna lose this fight. It's letting itself drag out.
Yeah, it's a lot of time being bled, much like the character's bleeding.
Yeah.
However, Barry heads up for him to cast Stop, and this is gonna be close.
This should be through now, but
yeah, I was thinking maybe he'd get another attack off.
What cost?
At the cost of a reset.
Yep.
That was so unfortunate. The fire cast being, or the flame cast being just not enough.
Yeah, it's always a hard. It's hard at any point to take a wipe at in any race when you're in this position. You're down 0-1, and it's not a fight that you necessarily had to take. It can really tilt you, and yeah, this is you would at least want to swap your anchor if you're planning on taking these, which is what we're seeing now. But you might even want to get that edge in the back row. Yeah, I would throw that boomerang on edge and keep him in the back row as a protective measure.
Yeah, you really want to have him in like the safe state possible. Maybe
And there
even
was
throw on
also
like
really, it's unfortunate. There's a tiara over to the right that Soleras picked up but hadn't put on, which I would get that on my forum immediately. That thing is, for me, the god tier helmet for any mage.
yeah, it's something that you like to see, and this is kind of something people are a little happy to see. We get a couple of attacks off, and this is less scary, but you love seeing a punchy boss in a punchy spot.
Yeah, punchy boss, punchy spot, but heads up use of that illusion, that's gonna negate most of it, and then really all you gotta do is get set up the way that we've seen Dekar do here.
Also, I missed what was in the chest. What kind of shenanigans did we see? If Chad or somebody or our lovely tracker, Dragoon Lance. You know what? That's a nice find. That means with those hourglasses, if we have a siren or two, we could do some gold dragons.
Yeah, that's also gonna eliminate any risk for popping eggs.
Speeds up the Dark Elf fight too.
This is true. Second part of Dark Elf is a dragon.
And we'll also have to see where Soleras stands on money, because also going to want to buy those ninja swords, particularly since you've seen them and they're right here. But yeah, your gold supply is not exactly where you want to be when you have to spend 132 G's or so. Might regret having bought those 5 of those hourglasses.
That's the first thing I'm gonna ask him. I think in the post interview post race interview. How did you feel? Look at that pause. That is a man who was unhappy right there.
That was the really.
Yeah, that's a tough pill to swallow right there.
Yeah,
Only buys a charm claw and books it out of there. We'll see if now Soleras wants to loot to try to afford the ninja swords, but if I'm Soleras right now, my foot is pretty firmly on the gas.
Yeah, I agree.
Knowing that I probably gave up a little bit of time.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of taking what you've got, and it's like, okay, you can go for those ninja blades. If anything else, the weapons you have for now will suffice, and you can kind of just come back later and think, whatever, this is good enough.
Yeah, I mean, the knowledge is nice because you hate checking every single weapon shop when you're really only looking for one specific thing.
And I mean, Soleras kind of found what he needed. He found the Dragoon Lance to give Kane a really good late game weapon. We know where the ninja blades are, so you're kind of done looting if you really want to be.
Yeah, it has long swords. There's always the potential that Hanzo Steel will drop something. Drop from somewhere, or you might, you get it as a reward. So, good enough.
Through.
And yeah, this is never going to be a long fight. It'll be a little shorter with that Dragoon Lance. But not the worst hook route. Was expecting maybe a little more nonsense from our restreamer Bad Karma, but we'll see.
You know what? I think he's got some shenanigans set up for later, but yeah. Again, big shout outs to our team that's doing things behind the scenes. Bad Karma, Hooves rolled this, Chef's Kiss of the Seed, and Fire Blizzard keeping the key items track, keeping us honest, and may pop into voice chat later. We don't know. I don't know what's talking about here. Do you see what's at the top of that tower?
No, I missed it.
How would you like to go say hello to Golbez at the top of the tower?
Well, that is definitely something.
Something good or something bad?
It's something, that's for sure.
The big problem there is he's got no magic power, so you ain't having him put himself down. You're gonna have to do the work yourself.
Oh yeah, that's not the fastest Golbez fight. getting up Star Veils as well prevents you from casting the Zerk, so you might wanna wait until you've found wine to drink. But you do have that tower key, so it's one of those. How do I want to route this? Because I consider wanting to do the tower before I even head to the Fey March. Just eliminate as many things as you can, and then maybe you're gonna have to do the Fey March or not.
Absolutely, I agree with you in that aspect. Also, big shoutouts to Dekar for being blocked by almost every NPC he's had the possibility to. He actually talked to the NPC. Coffins for sale. He actually got blocked by the NPC in Baron when he was trying to open up the chest, sorry, the shop. He talked to that person, so I was just like, man, poor Dekar, just blocked by everything.
Yep, and as JP points out, did not check Job Dwarf, not a fan of the people.
Yeah, we do have our little memes here and there. I'm a big fan of the Job Dwarf check because we have to meme. And there's our sirens. Yeah, you sell what you can and you come and get. This is a seed that just says, here, I want all of your money. Please buy more things.
Seriously, this is you. This is like, you're looking over your budget and you're like, well, I had to buy those 2 ninja swords, but if I didn't, I would be able to buy all the other things that I want. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that is just like, hey, I heard you wanted to buy stuff for Edge. We got some stuff for Edge.
Yeah, if you want the things, if you have the money, we have the wares.
Would you say that you have wares if I have coin?
Possible.
I rolled this.
Big shoutouts, BK. This is a seed that I'm here for.
Yeah, I don't know what my route would be here. I'm curious to see what Dekar does. Part of me says do Dwarf as quickly as possible. That'll get a couple more spells and levels, and then there's a lot of XP out there right now, particularly knowing that where Golbez is. Like Golbez is 25k, both Dwarf fights are 25k, but electing to just go right in and do at least one siren.
Yeah, you want to get Quake as quickly as possible in this Palom so that you can
mean
just
Quake, the spell that Palom just cast?
No, I'm talking about, well, I mean also on Soleras' side, but yeah, it's on Dekar's side too. You want him to get a little bit more, just so those Quakes can be more powerful. Because yeah, this is the point where Edge has done a lot of the heavy lifting. He can still do heavy lifting, but this is now where it's Palom's time to shine.
And this is a curious play. You have a lot of things on the table that you could knock out, but you're probably going to end up doing sirens. You have 5 key items right now. You got to ask when do I want to take XP? This could also be, I have 3 very viable options right now. I have the Fey March. If I'm going to go down there first, I want at least some levels to be able to take certain fights, which I guess is where Dekar's head is at right now.
Yeah, and with no free fights aside from Water Hag left on the table, and the King Queen of Evelyn. Yeah, this is a place I'm kind of curious to see what will draw him into wanting to stay.
You do get to peek the bosses for free. I will give that as an advantage. But at the same point, that required Golbez, essentially required Golbez is sitting right there at the top of the tower.
Hey, look, a dead key item. We don't need to talk about what it is. It's
a key item at least.
Inventory.
We can get underground now.
It's a key and it's an item.
Yep, it's a rock that goes down into a well, and well, that's gone.
The only thing I missed with the hook routes is that scene, because I always wanted them to add an edit in that's just the townspeople right outside of the well after you drop the key down, and they're like, "What did you just do in that room?"
Right.
What did you just drop down the well? And you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, well, you went in there, and then a giant chasm opened up, and an avalanche befell our entire town. So was that you? Did you happen to do that?
There was magma that was spewed everywhere. Oh my lord. It was cavalry. We almost had Pompeii here. My son was on that mountain.
He's a rock climber. He's covered under an avalanche. At least maybe you have access to the dwarves at that point to try to clear some of that stuff up, but I can't picture them being super helpful in that.
No, all they have are tanks. They don't have any to come to the overworld.
Hang down a rope. How far logistically do you think that gap is?
30 feet? I don't know. You can get yourself some hempen rope, and we can probably at least get 2 lengths of it tied together. Who has hempen rope in their inventory?
I have 30 feet. That's it.
Perfect. If we have somebody else with another like 50 feet or something, unfortunately, that doesn't look like your bag of holding has enough though.
I have 95.
Perfect. More than enough.
Now we are seeing Soleras has gone up the tower. Dekar back to the eggs. I was not paying attention. I was going on a rant about the Magma Key, but I did not see what bosses were there. Looks like whoever they were.
And Pain Man from left to right.
Oh, well, in that case, yeah, that's probably going to be a big no for me.
Yeah, it's a no from me too, dog. We'll talk about that when we have no other choice.
Yep. DJ Mylon, in the meantime, at the tower key, not required. But it is almost Halloween time, so a little thriller dance is not completely out of the way. I'm a big fan of that music video for Thriller. It's so good. It's just one of those, like, you just really enjoy it. It gave you a good. I mean, everyone exactly knows the hand gesture I'm doing right now.
Oh, because this is Thriller. Thriller night. I apologize for everybody's ears that I just offended.
And now this is the Golbez. I like this play from Soleras. Knock down Porum. You just want to abbreviate that initial cutscene as much as possible. And Soleras, also has made up some time. Obviously, is lacking 2 to 3 eggs worth of experience compared to Dekar, but depending on the routing, and this is why I had brought that up, might only have to make 1 trip into the Fey March. Because if I haven't found darkness and I haven't been down into the Fey March, part of me's gonna do Sheila 1, check that, and then go down into the Fey March knowing, that I have to take those fights.
Yeah, that's again not a fight you're kind of looking to just like go and see what's happening. But yeah, that was a very, very heads up play by Dekar though, using Kane to kamikaze on the Mylon, knock him down, get a quake, so he's down to his last 2 characters. Meaning, yeah, we're just kind of solid right now. Whereas Soleras getting that Venom off, getting people up, and gonna start just pouring damage into Golbez.
Yeah, this is... I mean, we know there's not very much magic here. But in my head, I would want that Porum up, and I would have wanted that Edge at least not as a pig right now. Because I think you deal out a lot more damage a lot faster by zerking up that Edge.
Yeah, and this is where it's the, like you said, it's the interesting, what's more worthwhile, this versus this. It's so minute, but when it comes down to this level, this is where you have to really start looking at that. Also, speaking of looking at that, Golbez is looking at Edge and going, "You're the big problem," and just hitting those walls over and over again. Very much to Soleras' benefit.
That Starveil, that shield is bending but not breaking. You're also trying to conserve your Starveils. Again, this would have been a great time to have some wine. As we see Dekar also very wisely knocking down, in this instance, 3 members of his party, but also keeping Palom. So I doubt we'll try to get a Zerk off. It's possible we'll try to get a Zerk off, but They're both electing to use the same strategy.
Also, big shoutouts to that Fire 2 just barely not putting Kane down.
It's 27 more health than he needs.
Absolutely. Also, these Star Veils, though, can we talk about them real quick?
What, they're valid? The amount of defense they're taking? What am I missing?
No, the fact that he just like, hey, you know what, maybe I'll put a thing up on Palom, and then as soon as he does, Palom starts getting targeted.
I mean, Golbez clearly not the sharpest tool in the shed, considering he asked why repeatedly after reflecting a bunch of spells onto himself.
This is true. Also, bye, Kane.
Giggles just thinks that he'll eventually get through the Starving.
He works. He's gotten through. This is not great. This is not great for Soleras right now.
He does have the elixir that is going to pop on the Palom. The shield should last a little bit longer. Again, this is the little extra levels, like, but I think he should be getting.
Decker's also in a not ideal position, better position, with the ability to cast that Fire 3. But yeah, okay. Did you not?
Fire 3 doing a lot of work. And look at that Quake right behind him. Whew, both runners about 5 minutes, or 5 minutes-ish apart underground. Kind of in lockstep now. We have a Legend Sword, and finally our second boss taken down.
Yes, and one of the two pieces of Forge. So we just need the... Oh, wait, no, we're not forging it.
You know what? I would be very tempted to forge here to be able to afford those Sirens.
It's not a terrible way to get some money.
And yeah, and the fact that it is Super Smith, so we might actually get something for a character here. We might get Kane's Crystal Sword.
Oh, it is Super
Table
Smith.
please.
Young's God Hand, 100% calling it now.
Can you not?
So now we are, we will get the reveal on what the tower key gave. Decker, you know, looking slightly ahead, has that extra grind in place. So Decker at this point is up, you know, I would say 30, 45 seconds, even though they're at the exact same spot.
Yeah, he has gone through the entirety of the Fey March, got the key item from there, plus yeah, the bit of a grind. So yeah, the little bit of a difference they have is still just that difference back and forth. But unfortunately, the Fey March is not going to be required. That's your Darkness Crystal. So we have full access to everywhere except Luca Cave and yeah, and Twin Harp, really.
Now you have some questions to ask. Because we have the Barren Basement. We do have this Dwarf Castle. We have those two Fey March spots. We are what? Yeah. Earth Crystal 2 and the Harp?
Yeah,
For boss
Luca.
checks?
Yeah, Luca, Earth 2, and Harp are the only 3 boss checks we do not have access to.
That is a thing.
There's a blue robe, though. We about to see ourselves with a bit of a gauntlet here, or survey says, nope, just water hag.
Well, that's our other free fight out of the way.
One left. We only have King Queen Evelyn left now.
I am really hoping for K-Natsu somewhere like Ribbon Room. I love me a good K-Natsu fight.
Yeah, you really want to see him in a fast, high HP spot. Okay, we want to. The runners don't, but we always love seeing shenanigans Kainazo. We just look and go, why would you do such a thing?
Not so into alt gauntlet on a giant.
I've never seen that before, ever. Why would you put that evil back out there? Because I want to watch it now. Yes, please.
So really, this is sort of runner's choice at this point. If you just want to start going, This is essentially, you're already in face check mode. Like, if this isn't a required boss, like, you could reset right now when you see the sprite and just keep moving.
Yeah, but in the same token, it's like there's the three gating key items you really, really need.
What key items?
Pan, Earth Crystal, and Harp.
Oh, we are missing Luca key as well.
And Luca key, yeah. But I'm saying
we aren't
any of those four, sorry.
all the way there. But that's 3 bosses that we can't see. And we need 5 more. So you just have to ask yourself, how mean was bad karma? How upset was bad karma feeling?
You go check those key items.
It's also one of those positions where if you do try to face check everything, don't end up with what you need, then you feel terrible and absolutely lost. But if you go face check the moon, for example, it could be, any of these bosses we're looking for at the ribbon room that will have the harp or the earth crystal or the Luca key, and then you can take a deep breath knowing that you have enough faces to check. I love the dwarves. Yes. Continue to block the way.
Almost leaving the wrong way.
The cats of free enterprise.
Yeah, we've had a lot of gone the wrong way or just blocked by NPCs tonight. I'm 100% here for this because it's just entertaining. Both runners Dekar reminding, hey, I can just cast exit here. Dwarf Castle, one of the few castles you can actually just say, no.
Now, we haven't also seen the Barren Basement. I would definitely, if I'm Dekar, consider peeking that before heading up to the moon. And yes, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with this. Like, this is where, now that we're in such a face check mode, and you have, like, essentially, I would go check package.
I'm saving package for last.
Really?
Like if I haven't checked package by now, it's gonna be because I have the pass in hand. Worst case, I face check everything and then I go to package. Leave a save on the moon. But like you still have to fight bosses. You have the potential of picking up more relevant key items that aren't the pass or the package. Like if I end up with the package, but I could pull Earth Crystal from a required moon boss fight. So, I'm talking myself way out of package at this point.
Yeah, you have a good point, and I do agree that package is a very low probability play, especially with everything going on. Dekar deciding that it's time to raise the whale. The real question, though, are you going to go check giant bosses, or are you just going to go check the moon?
I'm going to start face checking the moon. If this is me, I'm face checking the moon.
Soleras with the bold play.
And then I'm going giants. The only... I'm not entirely sure what Soleras was going for there. The only thing that Dekar has not done, and this could be great or terrible.
Soleras reset out of whatever you got from the
magma key. But
no, not the magma key. See, he no longer has magma. He also doesn't have dwarf because look, that's Kidia.
Oh wow.
It's the first thing I noticed. I'm like, ooh, yeah, and thankfully just a ninja hat. But that's still a bit of experience lost as well. Really interesting.
So Dekar, again, out in front. I will say the lack of a Sheila 1 check is interesting and could be a potential opportunity for Soleras to get back. I mean, if Sheila 1 gives something like Earth Crystal, for example, that happens to have a required boss, that could really change the outcome. But right now, Dekar has played very smoothly and is, if these checks pay off, has a slight advantage over Soleras.
Was it as smooth as wine?
It is in fact as smooth as the wine that Dekar was able to pick up. We do see that Hummingway Boat only has one item. It is just wine, but it's exactly what you want in a party like this. Also, additionally, like Soleras making the some of the choices that he's making. Again, you have to understand, being down a game and at this level of play, nerves are a huge thing. Like, yeah, these guys are some of the best that we have in the community. That doesn't change the fact that this is just straight up scary.
Yeah, and this is a really difficult fight. Not because it's from a timing and mechanics standpoint. It is really hard to get the cadence of getting those heals off correctly, and particularly when no one can survive more than two of those waves without needing healing.
Speaking of waves, though, PK, are you ready for waves upon waves of enemies coming at your own men? Because we doing some alt gauntlet at Bahamut.
King Ryu. I
heard you like dragons.
This is where you have what? I believe Dekar bought 2 hourglasses.
Yep.
This is almost like something where I might go check the rest of the moon and then come back to. Like, you'll get great XP from this, but this is not going to be quick, and it's not going to be fun.
No. Soleras is going to have a bit of an advantage with the Dragoon lance that he has, so he's got that in hand.
Yeah, the Dragoon Lance will be nice. Soleras attempting to get off the jump strats and pulls it off.
Ooh,
well
there
done.
we go. Nicely
Well
timed.
done.
And see, that is showing some high-level play. I honestly thought that he was just a little bit too early on that one because I didn't know the third wave just doesn't go off. But yeah, that's, again, showing some of the really non-basic strategies. Only rewarded with an Artemis bow, unfortunately. That's that could have been really big for him though.
Yeah, and without Bacchus wine, I do not think you really want to take a risk on taking that Wyvern fight with the Dragoon Lance. If you had Bacchus wine, that's it's a very free fight.
Absolutely, I'd take that. Take that fight, no problem.
Without Bacchus wine, that is not fun because you have to do getting up and getting a Zerk going, and that gives Wyvern enough time to start counter-nuking exactly the wrong person every single time.
Absolutely. We do see Dekar through the second of 5 fights here. Again, all gauntlet, 5 fights from the random encounter table. We do see some red giants here. This is just going to be, again, slow, but Dekar's got some decent levels. Gonna have enough in the way of spells. Unfortunately, did not see that Edge got psyched there. That was 97 MP he no longer has.
Psych
MP gone. That's good. Soleras, though, doing more traditional routing, and we do see the Sheila check about to come up here.
I mean, Soleras still has some outs. Now that we found this alt gauntlet, I'll be honest, like I said, this is a doable fight. This is a takeable fight. Part of me would consider, having seen it, being like, you know what? Let's face check the rest of the moon and then maybe even the giant, because at least I'm getting XP from the giant.
Okay, so real talk, you would go and keep this boss here, go to the giant before doing this alt gauntlet.
I don't know if I would do the giant before doing it, but I would check the rest of the moon and come back, because if I find Keinatsu at the Ribbon Room, I'm getting 100k XP from that. If I have to take 2 or 3 fights down in the moon, that makes this infinitely easier. Unless I have 5 hourglasses, but we know that Dekar doesn't have 5 hourglasses, so you're just getting hurt repeatedly by these people.
Question from chat. what's the worst spot DKC can be? High physical attack or large HP pool? So the way that Dark Knight Cecil's wave attack is based solely off of attack. So if anywhere that has high attack, if it's Bahamut spot, if it is the CPU spot in the Giant, if it's the Leviathan spot, that, or even as we like joking around in some comments in chat, the King Queen Evelyn spot. Those are places you really do not want to see the man known as Pain Man. But yeah, it's, you want to see like 1200 damage dark waves? I could show you some 1200 damage dark waves.
Yeah, he can be very devastating, and that's not like, you know, 1500 damage dark waves are bad, but then also it depends on where your party's at. Like, you can get him early in positions where you have to really figure it out.
Yeah, spots we look and go, this shouldn't be a problem. Why is this a problem?
Yeah. Why did I not get my Cure 2 off at all?
Yeah, it's, he has spots where he just like, this is gonna be no problem, and then you look and going, I'm sorry, what just happened? Aha, the Warlocks here are going after the memes. They know Kane has MP secretly.
And this is, you know, again, this is where those hourglasses, we saw Soleras buy 5 hourglasses. Boon for Soleras here. But we are also seeing Soleras make some plays, I think, just from an understanding that he was underground after Dekar.
Yeah, I 100% agree that this is
some gambly. This is some gambly. I need something to pay off that I assume my opponent also didn't do. As Bad Karma points out, is at 9 key items. That will be great for the grind, but you're also you need something to spike and pay out here. I don't think the grind is the primary concern. Although doing that all gauntlet, if you have 10 key items, is going to be a huge gain, assuming you can get through it.
Yeah, at that point, I think it's, you buy some sirens, you wait a little bit, and then you just kind of get some bonus XP here. But yeah, this is a fight for the Sasura that's going to be not so much a problem, but it's going to be long.
That mute knife, you have the mute knife, you want to use the mute knife, you paid for it, but you always run the risk when you hit Asura at some of these spots of it dragging out even longer.
Yeah, also Dekar doing a very heads-up play and life glitching these King Ryus. Very interesting that he's not healing, because I think this is fight 4?
He used his last hourglass, I think. Or he used an hourglass on that.
Yeah, he definitely did, but I think this is fight 4. Is that fight 5? Oh no, that's fight 5. Makes sense. And the Luca key, ooh, that's
not good for Soleras either. That means Soleras really needs to spike Earth Crystal or Harp from here.
Yeah, that's kind of a saving. Even Pan would be really good for him.
Pan would be good, but Pan would give you 10 key items, but Pan would still have to lead to Earth Crystal or Harp.
It could lead to both. Why not?
True. But at the same time, you would need both to be required. We'll see what Dekar does. Our restreamer offering some questionable advice of checking Luca Key. I mean, you could save Scum Luca Key right now, but we haven't seen anything on the moon. Here comes the moon character, and
So that is really interesting about these flag sets. I've been running them for as long as I have, and then I went and did another seed, like a supermarket sweep in our ladder, and I was like, oh right, characters exist here.
It is funny, and then I always miss the jumping, because that's one of my favorite push B to jump spots, is where you just keep jumping and pushing forward. You don't have to move.
Chat pointing out something Soleras resetting out because Edge got hit by the patented Zerk glitch. Not something you're a big fan of seeing, and something that is trying to get this down and replicated sometimes is really, really hard. But yeah, when you have a character rezzed up, zerked, and then doesn't really get their turn, hello go pogo.
Well, there is another one. This is going to be boss number 4 for Dekar. I will say, if I'm Soleras and I'm feeling behind, I've been known to do things that are questionable, without a doubt. I would have probably gone giant immediately, as opposed to taking like this Asura fight. I think that would have been a fun play to see.
Ultimate
And
God
we're
Slayers don't make questionable decisions.
We're still at
You know
4
what?
out of 7. We still need 3 more bosses. This is not by any means necessarily over, but we're running out of opportunities for these gambles to potentially pay off.
Yeah, and this is the point where you're kind of looking and going, like, where are you gambling next? Like, it's a tough choice.
And that Luca key is huge for Dekar because there's only 2 bosses now. Like, there are only 2 bosses you can't access. So you're gonna face check this out. That's my play from here.
Yeah, and I agree with the giant check. I'm a big fan of it. I love the spots you like go, nah, I'm not gonna check there till late, not gonna check there till late, and then you do it early, and then you kind of get ahead of your opponent because you're like, oh, here's 2 bosses, hard required.
Yeah, you're 2 for 2 so far, Bad Karma. This is double required. Moon.
Wait, this moon's not haunted. This is required, like hard required.
Yeah, what is there an opposite of haunted? Is it just not haunted?
Ah, yes, vaunted, as Fire was like to point out.
Haunted.
Hey, look, Bahamut.
So if it's a haunted house, does it become a vaunted house when you take down the decorations?
Really good
And
question.
it does look like a key item from Ogopogo. Obviously a required boss. But this is the other concern is, you probably pick up key item. You have 3 more bosses you have to do. There's a chance that you could get one more key item for Dekar, and Dekar's in not go mode, but you know what I mean? It's in I know I can get go mode now. And this Asura has been giving Soleras some real difficulty here.
Yeah, honestly, kind of giving him a little bit of the business, but he's giving it right back. He's dishing out great damage. Just it's so hard, especially when you get it locked on the Cure 3 phase.
And this, you're at 9 key items. You don't necessarily want to do eggs. You don't want to double reflect Starveil. The
Gets through it, though.
Have been huge. Yep, is through.
Needs a key item for this to pay off. Adamant Rock. Oh, that's your 10th key item, and you kind of hope that that's a good Supersmith weapon.
We'll see if Soleras forges. The one thing I will give to Soleras, granted, I don't know if this makes up enough time, but we'll get double XP going through that gauntlet. We'll have that Dragoon Spear for that gauntlet. That could have been huge from, relative time save for that upcoming gauntlet fight. But the question is going to be, are those types of things going to be enough? You'll get double XP and you'll get through it faster. But Dekar ahead that entire gauntlet, that Ogopogo fight, is really in a position right now to...
It's going to be close, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was a lot of time he sunk into that Asura, and to be fair, that was a lot. Bye, Mom Bomb, no thank you. Yeah, that's a lot of time, and this is where it's like this pull away versus everything. He needs this to pay off. Like, he needs this to be like a Gigan Axe. He needs this to be an Abel's Lance. He needs this to be by Antlion. Hey, Antlion, it's natural habitat, as people like to say.
Mom Bomb.
Oh, Mirasame and Power Shirts. He's got jokes.
Lightbringer. This is the problem with trying to shop for Murasame is you thought ninja swords were expensive.
That,
These
I
base
think.
checks for deck are not paying out. That is not where you want to fight Rubikins.
So yeah, hey, about that giant that might also be hard required.
Yeah, it's looking more and more probable. Dekar one more boss check on the moon, then has giants and Luca key, and Zot one, or yeah.
Told me that checking Luca was questionable decisions, and you didn't listen.
All right, just go make some
100%
peanut
here
butter,
for the
Karma.
bosses.
Have some more of your handmade peanut butter.
It's delicious.
Can you tell me the recipe though?
Peanuts?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's the whole ingredient list.
That's it. You wanted the recipe. Peanuts and Smash.
Perfect. Speaking of Smash, we
Yeah.
have DekarSMASH
Breaking out.
checking one last boss. That's Mylon Zed. That is not a required boss. So Moon, unless holding both Harp and Earth Crystal, no longer required to touch.
So, yeah, double required giant still wouldn't put you in go mode. Which
You know what would though? Double required plus package.
So that package, this is, so it's the game with the doors, right? Where, you know, they eliminate one door and they offer you the chance to change. This package becomes more and more appealing. You know, you had it when you had 23 other places to check. Now you have it where you only have 5 other places to check. But obviously, giant 2 bosses, it is a time commitment, but it's, you know, this is the logical choice in my mind as well.
And before only CPU is required.
Yeah, that's the whole point. It's if you check the first boss and it's not required, do you just reset out and say, you know what, fine, I'll be back later? Or
You reset Oot.
Oh, you go oot and a boot and out for a dart.
That is also the question. You know, okay, am I gonna sack 100,000 XP on top of? Let's see, wait, 210. So are you gonna sack 450,000 XP, or do you take the CPU boss?
Yeah, it's so
Also,
tough.
This would be such a good bargain. Or Natsu, come on.
Be Kanatsu. Just be Kanatsu right now. Boo! Boo this man!
Oh, Karma. Disagree. This is. I was told there would be jokes.
There were
There's
jokes. and
so
there's no
many
jokes
jokes!
now.
So many jokes!
You know what? You remember that free magical item I was gonna give you? Yeah, it's gone now.
Remember when PK said to go do the giant before the moon?
This is true.
This would have been a huge XP boost before going into that gauntlet. Soleras would have gotten 200k XP. Oh, just under 200k XP.
This is, yeah, so for those of you who don't know, King Queen Evelyn is an extremely scripted fight. The king takes 3 actions, they wake up and go, oh, yeah, we're monsters, okay, bye, and then they peace out, and the queen's like, sorry, you're my ride, I gotta go, and they leave she leaves on her next turn, so yeah, this is basically the freest experience you're gonna get into this game.
Yeah, they get to attack you, and then they maybe learn their lesson. I don't believe it. They keep showing up in further seeds and casting magic spells on me, but that's how family works anyway.
I mean, isn't that how it goes? Family shows up, they say some stuff, and then they leave after a while?
They throw some fire at you.
I mean, look, my family
Bring
likes
the
to...
heat.
My family occasionally likes to, so that's kind of I'm kind of in there with Edge right now.
All right, we got another check. Don't have to really heal up. Dekar casting the warp. which
That's swag.
it is swag. It also allows you to potentially warp all the way out.
Let's see. Oh, kind of bailed.
Oh, running out of boss spots, but yeah.
Like that, they bailed out. Yeah, that's if this had not been required. And I think this is probably the nicest of the bosses you can find. Although, as you see, it still hurts, my friend.
Oh, they're gonna punch really hard. I'm curious what Dekar's Starveil situation is. Oh, there's 4 Starveils. That's fine. As I learned in a race against Dusty that I lost, 2 Starveils does not guarantee that they're both going to get turned into frogs.
Nope.
We are getting the check. We are getting the check. Soleras, man of the people. Also, maybe just hater of Mist Village. One or the other.
I mean, it could be both. Also, that's technically a vanilla spray because that's boss.
Yeah, it is.
I'm here for a vanilla burning of
What are
mist.
the odds of that?
I don't think I've ever seen this.
Yeah, I mean, you're the vanilla guy. You've seen it.
Just,
No,
just,
I've never seen a vanilla. I mean,
Just give me the
obviously,
seat
right,
now.
Gotta check that one off the list. Oh, this is not great for Dekar either.
So actually, it can be. So what he does is he attacks. If he attacks the back frog, what it does is it sets the virus script, and then yeah, they just keep virusing back and forth.
That doesn't eliminate the punch and the fire cast, though, I believe.
No, it does because now the front lunar frog is just going to do nothing.
But now that
yeah, now's the problem.
Yeah, this is where you're gonna eat counters. You're gonna potentially punches. This is you could, yep. You can try to heal. This is just it's gonna be quick. This is a war of attrition.
Yeah, it is. Does he have enough to get through it? Though, is the real question.
The punch when a punch comes. Looking
It doesn't punch down. All it does, I think, is just fire.
Is that all it does now?
I'm
Still in
80%
the
sure.
queue to cast a punch, but we'll see. I have never been wrong before, but there's always a first time for everything.
Well, when
Liar.
you are, in fact, PK the Magnanimous, of course you are never wrong.
Well done.
Still proven, never wrong. And Baigen! So about that package.
I rolled this.
Somewhere there's a bard screaming out, check your package.
Glorious. So if Soleras had done package into giant and then gone moon, that would have made for something interesting. It's not over
this
yet.
Is oof.
And if you're Dekar, you got that Luca key. You have Zot 1.
Sleepy oinking noises, by the way.
But we're running out of boss spots.
Happy oinking noises. Thank you. Big shout out to Soleras for showing that off, by the way. Hey, Cabot.
Okay, so I don't dislike this play. What do you do, Dathis? Your DekarSMASH. You still need 2 bosses. If you pick up the Earth Crystal or the Harp from down here and it's not a required boss, do you take this fight?
Yes. The only thing I take here is, yeah, it has to be a non-terminal key item. So if this is exactly Spoon and a non-required boss, I reset out. If it is like Spoon or Sand Ruby, I just reset out and then I go do Zot 1 and then I do package. Like those are just like my next 2 spots right there.
I do love the meme plays from Soleras. If this had been without those troubles with the Asura, might have made up enough time, because if you go top down on the moon, if you do giant, if Soleras is giant after this, and then goes top-down moon, you skip all of that moonwalking that Dekar had to do. But that Asura fight definitely set some additional time on the clock. But I do like this opposition routing. This is fun to see.
Yeah, this is where we start looking. It's like, do we have a race or do we have just Dekar completely out in front? Because if this is a whole pan, yeah, that's, like I said, that's one of the things you have to chase. And that's required. Oh man, Soleras could be super bailed here.
Soleras could. So this will put Soleras at 4.
And we know where the other the 3 more are.
Yep, we know where 3 more are. And Dekar does have to walk out that pan. Not knowing, Dekar technically possesses go mode.
This is so... This is honestly delicious to see.
I like that too. Not taking the extra turn to have somebody knock down Rydia, letting Karate Man do his karate things. And Judge Joe, yes, Pan could give Harp an Earth. If Harp, for example, is haunted and Dekar decided to do that first, there are some ways that this Pan could slow down Dekar. It's also, if it gives Harp an Earth, or if it just gives Earth and Zatu isn't required, that'll slow Dekar down because that would slow down the package check. So this is actually not a great Pan to have unless it gives Zot and both Zot bosses are required.
Yeah, if Zot 2 is a required boss too, then I think Soleras is in a little bit of danger because that puts Dekar completely in go mode. And yeah, but this is such an interesting spot now. Like,
really, the best case for Soleras is it gives Dekar gets the Harp from this, and the Harp doesn't have a required boss, because that would be the biggest slowdown for Soleras.
But
it has to be Zatu or Harp. Yeah, Judge Joe has it right. It has to be Zatu or Harp, so it has to give whatever. If it gives Harp and Harp isn't required, because I think you go do Harp before you do Zot 1 under the expectation, what if I get the Earth Crystal from Harp?
Alternatively,
then you go do package at the end.
Alternatively, Earth Crystal gives nothing, and you have to go fight one of those moon bosses to find a last key item.
Yeah, but Dekar's going to do the package.
Would you, though? Like,
yeah,
a lot of runners really hate the package.
Well, when you first get the package, it was 1 in 22. At this current point for Dekar, assuming everything else is done, it's a 1 in 3 shot. The package is go mode. And yeah, as our tracker Fire is pointing out, with pass in hand, I'm not going all the way back to the moon without the package.
Yeah, like, again, I do see the logic in it, and I do agree. It is going to be basically the way runners are going to go. Soleras go up front.
Back on the ship.
Sheila check. Or not Sheila? No, going to be checking out that Wyvern.
Wyvern. Okay, so Soleras, and correctly to a degree, realizes, okay, I'm behind. I gotta sprint for a prayer. We're 80 minutes into the seed. Dekar hasn't finished, so with the runners as good as these, when you hit a certain time threshold, you can sort of start to say, okay, it wasn't all up on the moon because I would have lost by now. But 2 of them were on the moon.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to do it eventually. You'd already spiked Zot 1. If you were really hunting, this has to be in your mind. You don't know that Luka Key has been found. You need this to be Earth Crystal or Heart, but you already just did Zot 1. So this is really a whimsical play.
If this actually gives Harp and Harp is a required boss, or this gives Earth Crystal and Earth Crystal is the second required, I'm gonna laugh really, really hard.
And Dekar is doing the package. So yeah, I mean the numbers definitely dictate that you want to make this package check. I'm doing Zot, I'm doing Zot 1 as well before I even consider going back to the moon.
Oh, absolutely.
I would consider Pan turn-in before Zot 1, Judge Joe, just because it has a possibility of giving the Earth Crystal. But knowing what we know, that would be the best possible routing. But I didn't see. Has he done the Zonk?
Who, Dekar or Soleras?
Dekar bonked with the pan.
Oh, I don't believe he... No, he hasn't bonked with the pan. Like, he got the pan, and then we have no idea outside of that.
I would consider Zot 1 before I do the... before I go back and do all of that.
So that's interesting. I think I'd do the pan first, just because you save outside of Sheila. If Sheila has something, you keep it. If not, then you just go right over to Zot. That's my thought process, anyways. Also, mad respect to Soleras for dropping off the Lightbringer with the fat chocobo. Huge bonus to that.
Soleras in it for the memes.
I'm gonna say, not as good as using a whistle to summon Fat Chocobo in the middle of nowhere, but I'm here for it.
I love the big Chocobo. Such a bizarre method of storing. Soleras gonna get the interesting news that you could have gotten a lot of XP for very little effort with that Dragoon Spear. You know, early on, that Dragoon Spear, given the effort that it took to get it, would have really been a potential factor for cleaning up time. And now I think going to see, okay, there's a Dragoon here. With the, probably eventually doing the Giant, those D-Lunars against the Dragoon Spear would have had a very easy time.
Yeah, and again, this is how we see it. Dekar is doing the same things that Soleras is doing, and the bailout was there. Soleras did some other bosses, but yeah, still, honestly, the way this flag was, this seed alone, heck, was built up. This has been a heck of a run by both of these runners. We're an hour and 24. Usually we're starting to look at Zeromas by now, and these runners are still looking for their crystal.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty masterful roll from Bad Karma. Don't let them know I admit that. But this required Zot 1, or potentially required Zot 1. Oh no, they heard. Without having found the Earth Crystal is making it so that the runners have to do, essentially all of the moon, do the Giant. So it's leading to, a longer seed than if, say, for example, Dekar had found the Earth Crystal before going Giant, or going up to the moon. But there we go. This will be go mode for DekarSMASH out in front right now against Soleras. Soleras, those 5 hourglasses and that Dragoon Spear, will have a pretty easy run of this gauntlet.
Yeah, all these fights are going to be nothing worth talking about. It's going to be very simple and kind of all done but the crying now. This poor Edge is just being bullied.
You cue the Zerk, you can cue the Zerk, but it's not going to work if the guy's just gotten punched in the face.
You know what they say, everyone's got a plan until they get smacked in the face.
The best plans only last until someone gets knocked unconscious from a punch in the face.
See, now this is when you have Palom just swag Meteo.
I was really hoping, I was hoping for a swag Meteor against Baigan at the package, but that's really reserved for when you know you've lost.
Oh, absolutely. I'd 100% done that. Just like sit here and go, all right, we ready? No, you swag Meteor and you cast haste at the same time. We're fast. That's swag.
And Dekar, again, utilizing the warp spell. Walking out of places is hard when you don't practice. You know, you only practice going in.
Can't do a walk of shame if you don't walk.
Yeah, it's like leaving Baron via the waterway. Like I will almost exclusively take the throne fight, even if I'm in go mode, because I get concerned that I don't know how to walk out of the waterway effectively.
No, I get that. There's some places you're just not 100% sure of, like, hey, what's going on? And what's my path? But what's my path again?
And we have been told we have some bonus art. Dekar headed into go mode. I'm sorry, headed into the Zemus fight. It has go mode, has the crystal, and we're moving to that point in the night where, if you'll see that lonely Z flag, there we go. We got a couple more coming out. There are a couple questions now that used to just be one question to ask this, but there's a whole host of them now.
Yeah.
And I would I think you should. It's about time for someone to ask them, and I think that's on you.
In the immortal words of one of my fellow restream leads, something, but yeah, there's so many out there. There's can this one do this, that, the other thing? Or one of the ones that picked up from this moon, in the name of the moon, we shall punish whom? Zemus. We don't put him anywhere, but we do put him in fancier hats. And we're going to see how fancy his hat is tonight.
If it wasn't subjective, I would love to have a channel points wager thing of is butt cute? Or is butt wearing a hat?
That's fair. Maybe we'll do that one time.
But it would have to, it would have to really come into, yes, it's cute, or no, it's not cute. Because I feel like, to each their own. What I deem as cute might not match up with what someone else deems as cute. It would have to be like Hummus Miss versus an actual cute one.
Yes!
I actually love this. So the big thing for this tournament is it is always the hook you see, and then whenever we see the magma key, and even Scala, I kind of hope that when Z is going to join us for this at some point, has done like graphics and all these different things for we can get underground now, and I'm doing my best to play as much as I'm a meme lord. My meme is playing the straight man when that happens. That's why you hear me just say no whenever the magma key is found. It's not a key item, it's just a no.
This time it was yes.
It's the recurring dad joke of the tournament.
It is actually. No, that's good. But no, this is pretty fantastic. I'm gonna say that key art is taken from Doki Doki Panic, also known as Super Mario Bros. 2. Because that looks exactly like that key.
I know what you're talking about. It does look familiar. I'm not sure. Okay, Scala is around.
Super
Maybe
Mario
we'll get an
World.
explanation. Inspired by. We did. I don't think this is going to end up being a problem for Dekar, but that Porum is really at the bottom of my list of the person I wanted to take that opening salvo counter.
Oh yeah, that was not fun.
And I mean, it's Porum. Of course, Porum died to it.
Look, okay, all right. I'm all for my girl Rosa here, but the Porum slander needs to stop a little bit, because I've never seen Rosa or anybody else dodge 6 Meteos in a row, and there's video evidence of that happening with Porum. I'm just saying. Was it 7? It was 6. Regardless, it was an amount that you can go, you should not happen.
Not slandering for him. I'm more declaring that you losing your white mage in the opening series against Aromas is the primary thing you don't want to happen.
Yeah, and then you slandered her by saying, "Oh, but it's Porum, so of course it was gonna happen."
Well, also, Porum's HP growth, Porum is at 1705 and has white. Like,
oh, that's fair. No, you're right.
yeah. It's not ideal. It's not a. It's just it is what it is.
100%. Again, you're not 100% wrong in the fact that it's like Porum's like by all stretches of the margin, she is not Rosa. Is basically the best way we can describe her.
Yeah. It's one of the white mages. It's not the best white mage. It's a white mage.
Look, I'd even almost take Rydia with Asura over Porum someday.
This really depends on how Porum's feeling on any particular
Very true.
day. Yeah,
Oh,
she numbers amongst the white mages in the game. Soleras locking down the 2 actual required moon fights. But we will see. You have to assume is going to check the remainder of these. Having found that Zot 1 in that package, you know, you're 1 boss away from go mode. You have to check these 4 bottom moon spots before you go anywhere else. But doesn't have anywhere else to go after this besides a giant. Is officially in face check mode with that Luca key from the gauntlet.
but yeah, while that's happening, we do have the crack, the bang, the boom, the shake, and the key is being thrown down into the well eventually, very, very slowly. But that is DekarSMASH taking this a 2-0 clean sweep, 1 hour, 32 minutes, 57 seconds, and we are joined by him. GG's, Dekar.
GG.
How does it feel to finally be able to go underground?
It always feels good to get the bag and key on these flags, because I'm always thinking about all the memes in the restream.
Oh, it's okay. We ignored them this time.
Yeah, well, Scala didn't let you ignore them at the end there.
No, this is very true. Very
We had
true.
a separate magma key related rant. That was a great run. You know, what did you think? Like, if there was any spot that you think that might have set you behind? Because like you did a lot of looting in the cave. Like, is there any point where you're like, okay, this is not gone exactly how I wanted it to?
You know, I wasn't sure about my decision to take the alt gauntlet when I did, because that was very slow and not actually very safe either. Like, if things had just gone a little different, I could have wiped. You know, so maybe the play was to come back for that later, or, you know, somehow scrounge up more money for hourglasses. But that was kind of the only thing that felt bad, other than just not being able to find objectives.
Yeah, overworld, no bosses, no key items. You had, what, I think 3 or 4 going into the hook route and nothing really beneficial. Hey, you had the pass?
Yeah. I mean, I think Odin was on Ordeals, but, like, that was it for a long time.
So, the only 2 key items you didn't have were, you know, that gated a boss were the Earth Crystal and the Harp.
Yeah.
Just worst case situation, you do that package check and nothing comes of it. What's your plan from there?
Well, you know, that's kind of why I walked the pan out. You know, that gives me 3
Yeah.
more shots at finding one of those 2 things. I mean, the real worst case scenario is you have to go back to the bottom of the moon to find Twin Heart behind Rubicon to Masamune, which leads to Zot 2. I was nervous about that, but I thought the probability of it was low.
Yeah, I mean, I liked your routing. Did you? Yeah, I mean, particularly like saving that pan turn and knowing that you were going to do Zot 1 in package beforehand. I was curious a little bit. Like, was that lingering with you when you went Moon without doing Sheila 1?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, part of it was like, at that point, I knew there were 3 objective bosses in 4 remaining locations. So statistically, you have like slightly better than a 50-50 that, you'll just find 2 of them. So I didn't want to like do the whole Sylph Cave run and then have it be totally unnecessary because, I figured it was a seed where it could be very close because it was just so hard to find the objectives.
Fair enough. First, but before we talk about Soleras, you are now staring down Possum in, I believe, the finals. Is that right?
Well, my understanding is that Possum is not going to play, so this is just the finals. That's I think what he said. I'm happy to play him if he changes his mind. But
we were actually joined by our lovely art dev wizard who let us go underground for the last time of the Red Moon waxing.
It was only a matter of time before.
I was going to hop in and do the congratulation, but I also now have to hop in and also do the explanation. No, Possum at the end of the Red Moon Waning bracket officially said that he is not going to be doing anything else. He dropped at that point, so I get to say that Dekar is our Red Moon Waning New Moon champion.
Well, congratulations, earlier then. Possum is playing Possum, and yes, Possum is confirmed in the chat. So yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. It's I feel like the Waning bracket champion is like being technically a champion, which is the best kind of champion.
You are absolutely a champion. You're a champion in our
100%.
hearts. And
You're absolutely
that's what
technically a champion.
But yeah, I wanted just to come in and do my congratulations. I like to have the chance to congratulate all of our different champions, and it's been a lot of fun. I get to congratulate 4 people this time, which is great. I love it. So
A lot of congratulating.
It is a lot of congratulating, but you know what? That's because it's first of all, it's a good meme number because we're the FF4 free enterprise community. So 1, and 2, we have so many amazing runners in this community that I felt, and the other admins felt, that it was kind of cool that we had the chance to give a lot of love and support to so many different runners who all are amazing at this game, who are just some of the best that we have to offer in this community. So Dekar, it's really great to see you come out of here with another championship under your belt.
Yeah, I mean, it's even if it's a technical championship, it is a bit of a feather in my cap. I think that it's the first 2 times Zemus zone champion, I believe.
I actually have to. I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, thank you to all the admins. Also, like, it's a ton of work you guys do behind the scenes, and as somebody who just kind of freeloads on all that and has fun in the tournaments, it's really appreciated.
Well, thank you all so much. I'll let you all go back to the interview, but I want to at least give my little thank you and congratulations, as well as doing the clearing up some things. But congrats once again to you, Dekar, PK, and Deathus. I'll leave this back in your capable hands.
Okay, hold on. How dare you say
I'm gonna mute him.
capable hands, first of all.
I'm muting him for the music anyway, so.
Oh, music, yes.
Oh, we got tunes. Guess of Jealousy from
Live Alive?
Live Alive. I was gonna say Live Alive. That's why I
No.
paused. Let somebody else
just
fill it
to
in.
make this even better.
Don't make me have to explain to everyone how it is Live Alive, and it's always been Live Alive.
What? Live a live.
No, it's
All
Live
coming
Alive.
into a Dathis and PK
To correct
broadcast to
you.
explain things.
Hold on. You
Never happened.
having to correct me and PK. Never has that ever happened anywhere recorded. And if you want to go and check those receipts, no.
I mean, it'll be up to them. There's a lot of YouTube videos. Have fun.
Yeah, good luck sorting through that.
Yeah, find the 4 times PK and I have done comms together, and how many videos are out there?
Don't ask me for actual statistics. It's several hundred.
A lot.
A lot.
It's
A lot.
plenty.
Anyway. I'll stop doing the bit. Just give the congratulations, and y'all are fantastic. Thank you all. Also to our restream team, to Karma, to Fiery Blizzard, to Deathus and PK, and again, congrats, Dekar.
Thank you.
Yes, congrats. And back to the interview. Really important question. We all know the moon isn't made of cheese, but if it were made of barbecue spare ribs, would you eat it?
Yeah, definitely.
Who wouldn't at that point?
Well, we have Soleras has found go mode, is headed into Z. Dekar, yeah, congratulations. Any final thoughts? Anything else you want to throw out there? Dathis, you have any questions?
Yeah, the one question I really have is, having gone through both sides, both waxing and waning, and just gone through the Red Moon, what were your thoughts about this flag set as a tournament style flag set?
I really like these flags. I thought, you know, the boss hunts and the decision of like when to phase check versus clear key item checks made for really interesting routing and decisions. And I liked the way the Red Moon was curated, where you start with one powerful character, but you kind of know that's all you're gonna get. So I really enjoyed the Red Moon flags. I had a blast with them.
Wonderful. Well, yeah, Dathis, go ahead.
I was going to say excellent. Now, the real question is, would you like to also ask, because we know who we're going to fight, Soleras is going into Zerovis. Would you like to ask a question, even though we know who it is?
Sure. Whose butt are we gonna kick tonight?
Perfect. Wonderful way to top off this tournament. You did fantastic. Great. We will relinquish you from being here. We appreciate you. Thank you very much for joining the tournament, showing off, and putting a great run through. You have yourself a wonderful night. Our champion of the Waning bracket.
Thanks. I'll just close by again, you know, just saying GG to Soleras. Great opponent, and I had fun playing him twice this tournament.
Rematch of the rematch. Yeah, and Soleras went straight up to the Giants, not concerned that there's the only two bosses left were double gated, is about to see the butt.
We're about to be going underground again, and I'm 100% again. I love the memes that we have. This community has gone from a very small amount of memes to just a cavalcade of them. We've gone through Job Dwarf, we've gone through the vanilla between myself and the original granddaddy of the scales, Poidrak. We've had who was the original person of vanilla. We've also gone through just so many other things. Quack Kid being a thing, Rydia being an anchor, like just so much. And I love the fact that every time we seem to think we've topped our memery, we never do. We just get better and better.
Never been a shortage of memes. Yes, always great to see more memes out there. Porum with 2,300 hit points throwing a white for 6,300 damage is a meme in and of itself.
Yeah, I mean, Porum's kind of a meme
50,
too.
what is that, level 55 Porum?
Something like that. And Pal's just like, let me show you what damage is.
Yeah. That's your most powerful spell? Let me show you what a powerful spell is.
Yep.
Brythe, it's actually both of those questions are from the Harry Carey SNL skit with Will Ferrell playing Harry Carey.
Oh man, but yeah, it's the thing is we've seen gear for Paladin. Porum kind of, I think, still has her base staff.
I'm not sure. I saw Silent Staff in someone's inventory. I know there was a tiara doesn't boost the white magic at all.
No.
But also, come on, like you're 20. Dekar's Porum was at 1,700 and had white. Soleras's Porum is at 2376 and is hitting for 6500. Like, how many levels do we need as Palom showing how to do the damage? And that was a quick
Speaking
one.
of damage, that's the last one. We get that reflect kill, greatly done by Soleras. Time officially race spot of 1 hour, 46 minutes, 24 seconds. GG's to him. We'll see if we can't get him in for an interview. And the first thing I'm gonna ask is my favorite question to him. I'm sorry, PK. I gotta lead off with a meme question.
Oh yeah, you're more than welcome to open up. We'll see. Up there we go.
So Soleras,
I'm here.
GG's on that run. That was
Thanks.
honestly strongly done. The first and most important question I have to ask: Are
Of
you
course.
trying to take after me by feeding that fat chocobo holy swords?
I mean, the only thing that would have been better if I found a carrot in a shop, so I could have put it in a chocobo, but I
would've been
didn't have a
nice.
carrot, so you just have to make do, right?
You know what? Or if you found a whistle, like what I usually do.
I thought about. I was thinking, do I have a whistle? I'm not sure. No.
I did not see one.
did.
I was kind of paying attention. But yeah, geez. So let's talk about your oops all mages and edge scene.
Sure.
Opening start. You have yourself a Palom and you have edge. What's your beginning routing thoughts?
I mean, you have power from the Palom. It would have helped if I remembered to put on the long swords I bought. I will say that this seed, I noticed once I noticed I hadn't put. So I bought 2 long swords in Eblin, and I mean, my thought is right, like edge seeds in general. Edge is power enough to get through the overworld, and then Palom is kind of the other really strong contributor. So I was like, I could just get through the overworld with those 2, and I pretty much did. But I realized when I had forgotten to put the long swords on, I was like, I don't usually do that. And then as the seed went on, I was like, oh, my concentration's not here. Oh, okay. Well, this is gonna be a disaster. It's kind of what happened. But yeah, I mean, you get your power early, and then I kind of wanted to know the characters. Like, you want to know if Tella's in the seed, particularly, right? You want to know if a white mage is in the seed. So after all the early game stuff, I wanted my characters, Randa, Baron, and yeah, it's went from there.
Do you want to role play for a minute? You be you, and I will be the Asura in the Baron basement.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. Hi, I'm me. Okay, I'm being me.
Hi. I'm gonna keep healing myself, even though you clearly want me to just go away.
Yeah. That's expected. That's expected. I'm ready to queue up an attack, so you get into a life 1 lock.
Yeah, and then what I'll do is I'll just keep attacking the exact wrong person that you want to get.
Yep. It was great.
Yeah, no,
It was the
scene.
cherry. It was the scene. It was the cherry on top of what I knew was just a downhill race for me. So it was like, you know what? I'm going back.
Yeah, I mean,
this
we knew that you
person
were
is not controlling.
You were digging for value at that point, and
I wanted a 10th key item.
Yeah.
I wanted a 10th key item, but I mean, yeah, I wanted like an Earth Crystal or whatever. I mean, yeah, it's one of those weird seeds, right? Where there were like 6 bosses outstanding, and they just happen to like all be on the moon, and then giant, and then once you're done with all that, you just do like package and Zot 1, and then it's just cleanly done. So it's kind of like, yeah. So
I will say this: you actually did package and Zot 1 before Dekar. He was still doing the moon and the giant check.
Yep.
When you saw the Zot, by the way, cheeky Zot 1 check, we were super here for it. Was there
of
any
course.
thought of doing like just giant right after, and then just face check the moon, or why go through some of the other areas underground first?
Once I hit twice, I was like, well, I didn't actually check what that sparkle in the basement was, and that would be a huge miss. And I kind of hit twice, and I was like, my thinking was, especially if that was a hit, then I can at least hit on the moon and then just run to Z and save a little bit of time there, and like kind of pray that Dekar gets sucked into some sort of like chain instead of checking those. I mean, it was basically wasn't going to happen, but that was mostly my thought. And yeah, the giant was definitely on my mind, but it's just coin flippy at that point, right? Where you want to go from there.
Yeah, I mean, there was a point where, and you know, not to go back to the Asura fight, but if you had done package in Zot 1 and gone giant before, like if you wanted to meme it out that way, then you would have saved all the bottom of the moon, and that would have made up. I mean, you were right in that, you weren't ahead when you were making some of those choices, but there was that route was there that could have potentially, and you with the Dragoon Spear that Dekar didn't have, you had a much easier time with like the Gauntlet, for example.
Yeah. But yeah, that's okay. I mean, I'm good. I'm happy. This was a great meme of a sprite, Z sprite that we have. That.
Sorry, I didn't recognize it. What was with the sprite? I didn't see it when it popped up.
What?
I've.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like it's one of those things you wouldn't understand. It's so underground, man. Like you just wouldn't get it. You're welcome.
Really mostly between the dwarfs and the summon monsters and the people in Sylph Cave get it. That's about it.
Yeah, it just had to be there, man.
It's just an overworld person, Dathis.
Delicious. No, you're right. I'm too busy. I'm too busy playing with my dropping some beats in the package as opposed to dropping them in the well.
That meme, as far as I know, that meme came from me because it's something I would say frequently in the Campfire Discord, or I guess it's Possum's Discord now, and Martin kept bringing up how much joy my deadpan kept bringing him. So between that and a Z sprite that I got for being in the finals, which Scala just did incredible work for it. She took my Final Fantasy 14 character and just like made it into. Yeah, I mean, I'm good. Like I feel like I won, Like it's just
having
amazing.
A Z-sprite is awesome, and 14 character, why not?
Super happy with that. Yeah, I mean, of course I would have liked to win, but some days are just not your day, And I don't mean like the seed. Like today just wasn't my day. Like the better player for today won, and very happy for him.
You know what?
Saying bad karma won is what you're saying.
Oh, very true. But yeah, Soleras, never count yourself out. You are a fantastic runner.
Oh, yeah. I never will.
You've done some great races, and just tonight, the last two races were not yours, but the rest of the tournament, you did fantastically.
Yeah, no, I totally. I will be the person that says, I play this game pretty well, pretty okay. I'm pretty all right at this. It takes a lot of concentration, a lot of work. To get those slight edges when you're at kind of this level, when you're at a level like equal to other people and everybody's kind of like near a skill ceiling, right, of what they have
you're playing
in
against
skill.
The person who won the last tournament outright.
And play and beat him before, and this entire tournament I faced and beat Dekar, and then I faced Possum and lost narrowly. So that was 2 tournament champions in a row. That was in the waxing phase, and then came down here. So yeah, I mean it's been fun. It's always fun to play with good folks and play with friends and test my skill.
Speaking of playing with friends,
took it all the way to the end. There was nowhere else to go after this.
Yep. Yeah, playing with friends. Your run of the tournament done. What are your current plans?
I've been playing League of Legends of all things lately, which I never thought I'd go back to, but ARAM. It's been ARAMs, okay? It's just like fun.
So much better.
Well, and even that is like, I don't know. It's with friends. It's been entertaining. I got some indie games I've been playing. I don't know. Past that, for Free Enterprise, I'm definitely taking a break. I might take a very long break, like until 5.0 comes out, but I don't know. That's still kind of in the air for me. But I mean, I'll be around. I'll be adminning.
Are you in the League Restream channel?
The League Restream channel. I mean, I don't have it open.
Well, I was gonna say, if you want to call out our who we're gonna be rating and from the rest of the Restream team, thanks to I'll say quick thanks to Dathis and Karma and Fiery Blizzard, and I think we'll let you shoot us on over to our next target.
Oh, and of course, thanks to PK as well. My
Yeah,
co-commentator keeping me good.
And I guess before I say that, yeah, thanks both of you for the commentary. I'm sure it was a delight. I'm sure you both had.
We were nothing but serious the entire time.
Of a time with, yeah. I hope I provided entertainment. Thank you, Bad Karma, for this delightful Troll of a Seed. Thank you, Fire Blizzard, for the tracking, and thanks everyone for watching. It's super appreciated. But yeah, we are heading on over to Flossy Fern, who's doing Blue Moon Bingo. Bingo, that sounds fun. I think like Moonblaze Wolf did a little bit of like wanting to do kind of bingo stuff. It's something we don't do much in our community. That sounds super fun. So yeah, we'll be heading over to Flossy Fern. No spoilers, of course, but go say hi, give her all the love and energy, and yeah. That's it for me. Probably it for us.
Yep, that's it for us on this side. Again, GG's one more time, Soleras. Fantastically run. And